Performing arts have taken to the digital stage as venues remain closed to audiences. Live streaming platform SISTIC Live has transacted 20,000 tickets, both paid and free, for 50 productions since May. But even as groups draw in crowds with innovative digital offerings, some say it's not sustainable. Let's go with more.
That's the Singapore Symphony Orchestra opening its season virtually. It was streamed earlier this month, offering pay-as-you-wish and free tickets. Over 3,000 people tuned in, with 150 buying tickets.
If you think about the Esplanade Concert Hall, though, that seats about 1,600. And so our revenue compared to the Esplanade Concert Hall was much, much lower. It's between 5 to 10%. We are looking at much more intimate performances, chamber music, and smaller groups of musicians between 10 to 20 on stage, all safe distance.
Its second online performance is coming up soon, this time with tickets starting from $10. Apart from covering some costs, the group also wants to look at audience behavior. It's a shift away from solely putting up free content, which has been popular but not sustainable, with the digital stage expected to be a mainstay. Theatre group Rise is also starting an on-demand video streaming service at $10 US. Bringing back two sold-out shows, Merdeka and the importance of being earnest.
The theatre cannot sustain itself, and this is a way of trying to get some income. All around us, Singapore seems to be relaxing, restaurants are opening up, but it's particularly frustrating for the performing arts. So it's our hope that on this pay-per-view version, audiences see fit to contribute and also put value to the work of artists.
Instead of just digitalizing art, it's also working on creating digital content. Its annual fundraising gala will also go online as it digs into its savings to stay afloat. All while keeping a light on for the day the stage comes to life again.
And from on the art scene, we have Kachun Wong with us, and he's a Singaporean conductor who started with the Singapore Symphony Orchestra, now with the Nuremberg Symphony Orchestra in Germany. And this Thursday, he will be conducting the Beethoven Ingarten concert online, and that's an annual performance that usually takes place at the Singapore Botanic Gardens. Well, Kachun, thanks for joining us. So the Ode to Joy segment will feature, a sing-along segment involving over 1,000 participants. That's bridging professional musicians and music lovers from 25 nations. Okay, so let us in. What went into the preparations? And at the same time, what's the message you hope to convey through this piece?
This is just a huge international music kampong that's coming together from all over the world, that's congregating physically, or rather virtually, in Singapore. But of course, this is all streamed online, and therefore we are again reaching out to the whole wide world through our performance this Thursday.
And Kachun, tell us a bit of some of the challenges and how different it was to coordinate something like this versus conducting a live performance.
Well, this is really something very new for me. I have to say it's the first time I'm doing something on such a large scale, and the only reason why it can carry on the way it has and why it will succeed is because there is a whole team behind this, and this team is made up of not just the 1,000 over musicians who have very generously offered their time and contribution towards this project very willingly, but also the technical team and also the administrative team. You won't believe the amount of hours that have been put into creating something like this, because it is. We have had a very short lead time. I would say less than 2 months from the conception until when we are going to perform, which is in 2 days' time.
Exactly. So what kind of adaptations have you and the orchestra had to undertake because of the COVID-19 pandemic right now?
Well, firstly, we cannot react with one another live. We can't meet people live. And so this is actually, I would say, one of the hardest things an artist can face, because as musicians especially, we want to feed off the energy of each other. As a conductor myself, I give a certain impulse, and then I hear a reaction coming back from the orchestra. And then that reaction inspires me to do something else. So it's really a feedback loop in a live creation of art, of music on stage. And so in this sense, we don't have so much of that feedback loop in the conventional sense. So what happens is that I would I would have to actually work with a team of engravers to first put down the musical notes of Beethoven into the computer, and then I create editorial markings into the score, which is then transmitted to the musicians. And then we have Zoom calls or WhatsApp calls to talk about the music. So we're rehearsing the music in various ways, which is not quite what we're used to. But we have found a way, a rhythm of working. I mean, is this going to be the norm of music making? I certainly hope not. But I think this is really a testament to the period that we're going through right now, this COVID period, where we are physically not connected, but ironically, we are able to reach out to more people. We have now more. I mean, if this concert had taken place in the Esplanade Concert Hall, which it was supposed to, then we would have no audiences because everyone would have been a performer. And so we were able to transcend this physical limitations and really truly go virtual, go international.
Well, Kachun, we hear a lot about funding. But beyond that, what other concerns specifically do you see plaguing arts group at this point?
This is a very tough question because the arts is such a crucial component of society. What we do every day is to find ways of bringing beauty, whether it's through new creation or whether it's through existing artwork that have existed through time. And at this stage, concerts and performances are not allowed to be taking place in Singapore. In some other regions, it's varying. In Germany, where my orchestra is based in, concerts are beginning to resume. But it's really a matter of balancing. Is who is going to be responsible if we do have a concert in the theater and then if someone gets the virus? So it is a very tough situation. I can completely empathize and understand both sides of the coin, from the point of view of artists. Myself as a conductor, I can't wait to go on stage. I want to perform. Without the stage, I'm in front of my musical scores, I'm studying my score, but it's not enough for me to communicate with my audiences, with my musicians. But at the same time, I know that this is not easy. I mean, I would say we are in wartime. If this was, I don't know, the Second World War, or this was something else, there would be a certain amount of time where artists just have to endure and go through. It's not pleasant for anyone, for everyone, but I really think that we have to find ways of using our time well. And for me, that means sitting in front of music, of musical scores, enriching myself as much as possible, even though I can't wait to dash onto the stage. And hopefully when the time comes for me to walk on the podium, I would be a better musician.
Thank you so much for speaking with us this evening. We wish you all the best for this Thursday as well. We've been speaking with Kachun Wong, and he is the chief conductor of the Nuremberg Symphony Orchestra.